Hi, Janaki. Welcome to Soul Quest. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I am so grateful for being here with you.
Yay, we just met not even a week ago.
Yes, yes.
And I love how the universe does that. I just felt the calling to get on this networking call, and I was 30 minutes from the time that I checked the email from Steve Noble. I was like, oh, well, this starseed networking sounds cool. And I have time to get on real quick. I felt really called, and I just got on, and you were in the breakout room with me, and I thought, I think that's why I'm on here. And I saw that you lived in the Woodlands. Out of the whole world,
Yeah.
we both live in Texas.
I mean, I'll say epic alignment. And that's what I witnessed. That's what I'm witnessing now more so than ever. And I feel those that we are tuned in and tapped into our frequency, our heart's frequency, that we're experiencing this rapidly. Of showing up, not knowing why, and then all of a sudden, you're like, this is why.
Yes, I love it so much. It feels so good.
Yes.
So here you are. We had a conversation, and I thought, I need her on my podcast. And here we are having that conversation. You had so many little spiritual nuggets full of light that you were talking about. And I was like, I need to dive deep more into this. So I would love for the audience to get a little bit of that too. So let's start with the beginning of your journey. You told me a little bit about that. You came from a family that was very spiritual?
Yes, I say I was raised with a lot of consciousness unconsciously. So I was raised in a yoga family. My joke, although in serious, is I've been doing yoga since my mother's womb. Brought into this world with a Bandhads, which is a 24-hour Sanskrit singing. And then my mom smelled a vibhuti in the air, which is like a holy ash. And she went into labor. And so um, and so I was brought into this world with celebration. And so that's why I call myself a connector of connectors. And I love bringing all of ourselves, connecting ourselves with our highest version of ourselves and all these magnificent other highest versions of ourselves in celebration as we elevate. So I'd like celebrate and elevate.
Wow, that's amazing. What an amazing birth, a way to be brought into the world. So, did you grow up in Texas?
I grew up in St. Louis. My mom in 1989, we were about to go bankrupt and lose everything. And my mom was in meditation and she received a really clear sign that said, sell your house, sell your business, move to Texas. And she's like, Texas? What? And within 2 weeks, the business and house sold. And we've been here. I've been here since. I moved to Oklahoma for a very short period with my son's father, but I've been here a good majority of my life.
Okay, awesome. And so, growing up in a family that's very spiritually based, you're having that in your daily habits. Were there any challenges there, especially as a teen?
Oh, yes. Um, what I say is my parents were a little ahead of their time and they didn't quite know how to navigate the full spectrum because there was a lot of what I see is the distorted lens of spirituality is like, let's ascend. And then there's the bypassing of
Mhm. Right.
not really embracing your whole full soul.
Mhm.
And so there was a lot of what I got to witness, and I say my joke is I witnessed fist fighting or meditating. So my parents gave me the gift of polarities at a very young age. And we had lots of devotion, lots of service work. My mom, to this day, that's where I get my devotion for service is from my mom because to this day, she is like was raised doing service work, whether it's for the homeless or the old folks home. That was really embedded in my growing up experiences.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, so um it was what I say is my parents were ahead of their time because my mom didn't believe in immunizations and she raised us with the truth is one, paths are many. So she gave us experiences, a lot of multi-diversity of culture and religion and let us experience now with a really strong foundation of a Hindu like a Hindu kind of background growing up. That was a lot of our devotion. Although we'd go to sometimes church, and she was actually going to be a nun and became a
Wow.
yoga instructor in 1975.
Wow.
So her path went radically a different direction.
Wow. I hear that a lot with people. Once they get to their 40 or, 30s, 40s, 50s, they do a turnaround, like they were in like a missionary in church or they wanted to be a preacher or something, and then something turns them the other direction. I mean, they're still serving and they're still in that divine light, but they're doing it in a different way, in a more outside of the box way. That's
Yes,
so cool.
yes.
Wow, what a and I wonder what I would be like if I had grown up, with a mom like that. I always wonder about that because my mom was super into church and wanting to force that on me.
Yeah,
So
she gave us a lot of freedom within that realm because she wanted us like, on purpose, she lived in a home where within blocks there was a higher class, a middle class, and a lower class, all within walking distance. We could experience it all.
mm,
So on purpose, she would move to multi-diverse cultures,
that's
and
great.
so she wanted us to have that experience. So I'm very grateful for that. I will say some of the challenges are because my parents were ahead of their time. I mean, yoga wasn't a thing in the 80s.
Right.
Even in the 90s, it wasn't that much of a thing. It
Mhm.
wasn't even until like 2000s or something like that, and that it became more of a popular thing.
Mhm.
Um, and so I was made fun of a lot. People did not understand. They would call us devil worshippers because my mom would have a picture of Yeshua, Mother Teresa, Mother Mary, Ganesha, Hanuman, Krishna, like all the different deities, and people couldn't understand
Wow.
that.
Wow, that is interesting to think about. I never thought about that. How is and did you ever feel like you had to hide it?
That's a great question. I didn't know how to hide. I didn't
Uh-huh.
know how to not be myself. I didn't
That's
know
right.
what normal was.
Yeah.
So I feel I always was different, although I secretively wanted to fit in and be normal because I didn't know what that was. I wanted to, I tried to fit into those boxes. And so I had this really deep sense, even with me being the youngest child, my brother and sister would say, "Oh, you're an accident. You weren't meant to be born." So I kind of was raised with this feeling of, as I was sharing with you, I'd look at the stars and say, "I want to go home." And felt I didn't even belong on this planet or even how to be a human. And so I had a deep sense of feeling I don't belong and wanting to fit in. And that's where I made the conscious agreement because my parents kept saying about utopia and being the world's going to be this beautiful way one day. And so I'm like, I kept hearing that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sleep right now. And when the world's ready, I'll wake up. And then that's when I had the experience and the remembrance of, oh, wait, the world is me. I wake up, the world wakes up with me. And so I had it backwards. And
Wow.
I feel my parents gave me that gift of experiencing a lot of things backwards because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Is my dad would say, it's the great undoing. It's not what you do in your lifetime, it's what you're here to undo.
I love
And
that.
so
I love that. Yes, I can relate to that. I remember in ninth grade, I had a friend commit suicide, and that's when I woke up to, "Oh, there's something else out there," and I remember sitting in my windowsill looking up at the stars and thinking that I wanted to go home, this yearning of home, like, and
Mhm.
thinking that my friend went there, and just knowing like, "Oh, I'm ready to be with my soul family." I could feel that internally, but then I went on with life and forgot all about that until, maybe my 30s. So yeah, I love that. So it's about remembering, and undoing, all that society has put on us in this
Mhm.
human life, and the
And
more we
the inherited programs that we receive from our parents and their parents, and it's this
Mhm.
generational, A lot shifted when I discovered mastery systems, which is the art of conscious language, both body and spoken, and gave me a greater awareness of where I had a lot of unconscious patterns acting. And
Mm,
so mastery system works a lot with our heart energy, our feeling world, the subconscious mind. And so that gave me awareness of how much had this checked out pattern of wanting to not wanting to be here.
mm,
And it was actually after that where I had that remembrance of, "Oh, wait, I meant to be here."
mhm.
And that's the thing that's so funny because it's actually, like, embedded in, either it was human design, Gene Keys, one of those
Yeah.
things. But that's one of my things I am here for, is my natural ability is to break through boxes. And so I'm like, "Of course I had to experience this perception of all these boxes I tried to put myself in."
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't mention you are a generator. Do you remember your profile number?
Specifically, I know sacral response because I do check in with my body. I'm very in tune with connecting with what is my body feeling. And I think we said open crown.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, those I
Do you, and you are a Scorpio rising, right? You said?
Scorpio rising, and then my Venus is Capricorn, and then I
Mm,
believe I have a Cancer moon. So I
mm.
have a lot of water,
Wow.
a lot of water.
Wow, yes, you do. Amazing.
So
So, how has family life been raising kids and having a husband? How has that been a challenge and a triumph for you on your spiritual journey?
well, it's been the most beautiful experience. I mean, yes, there has been challenges, of being I mean, that's what we're here to navigate through those valleys. Matter of fact, last year was the one of the biggest valleys we navigated through. Um, and so what I have discovered is, because I teach a chakra series, at the well, it was at the end of each year. Now it's kind of all shifting into like a more integrated, longer spread. And when I was facilitating solar plex chakra 2 years ago, that's where I had the aha of, I told my husband, I started crying. I was like, oh my God. Like, I had this all of a sudden, it's like this bolt of lightning. I've been projecting my mother's projections of my father onto you. Will you forgive me?
Oh, wow.
And so much of our relationship shifted once I became aware of that, because I saw that so clearly. I was like, "Oh my god. I've been seeing," and because I've been believing in it so much and didn't restore those wounds within my being until later on, I created the evidence to have him continue to show up in those patterns until
Mm,
I could
mm,
become aware and shift those as like, "Oh, wait, this is a pattern." And that's another one of my zone of geniuses, is those pattern recognitions, like, "Oh, wait, this is a pattern. Life isn't meant to punish us. It's to mirror for us what we've yet to see within ourselves and those unconscious patterns that continue to play." So, my parents, I say they've given me the gift of empowerment. I willingly gave away my will. So what I've discovered recently, especially with this chapter that I recently wrote with this book, that what I'm here for is the restoration of our power within, not power over or under. It's what true power, and there's been such distortion around power of this hierarchy. And anytime we have those separations, those pedestals, that
mhm.
we create that separation. And so, that was another thing too, is with growing up and witnessing my parents fight, I had made up the story I told myself is, when I speak up, I cause conflict. So I learned to shut my mouth and be the people pleaser. I learned to be the good girl and be my mom's angel. And my husband, it was him who recognized, he's like, "Your mom keeps calling you an angel, and I see you as a volcano waiting to erupt," because I didn't embrace my anger in a healthy way. I tried to suppress it. And so if we suppress, I mean, whatever we're suppressing, it's obviously going to get bigger until we can fully love it, because that's how I truly believe we transcend in our world. Is It's all it takes is one drop of love to love those things we've yet to love,
I
and they'll
love
keep mirroring and coming up to the surface until we can actually love them within ourselves.
I love that. Oh, that feels so good. Wow. And so you mentioned the book that just came out last week. What is it called?
It is called Divine Rebirth, and there's 17 other amazing authors who has shared their story of their rebirth and their experience. I wrote mine about my son's father who died and how through the process of grief, of deep let go, that I was able to root so deep into my being. And it was one of the very things I was scared of. And when I was able to embrace it with love, it honestly allowed the veil to dissolve, a lot of that veil of separation, because I connect so deeply with his spirit and his energy. I feel more connected with him now than I did before, because we our human our soul agreement in our human life, there was a lot of perceived challenges, a lot of perceived pain, and that's honestly what awoken me deeper within myself.
Wow. That is such a good point, about people in our lives. We're living these human 3D connections, and then they pass into another realm, and all of a sudden we can feel that soul connection, that soul agreement that we had, and it gets so much
Yeah.
deeper, such a deeper relationship created from the passing. And
Yeah.
when you're living in different realms, that is such a great point.
Mhm.
Amazing.
He what he mirrored for me that I had avoidance of is the light warrior.
Mm,
And I discovered that when I was in my reverence practice, my devotional practice, and I was saying avalanches of God's love flood into and circulate every single area of my life with meaningful relationships, divine connections, and then I start naming the connections. And then all of a sudden I said, "Light warrior," and I go, "Why the heck would I say light warrior? I'm not here for war. I'm here for my peace, my love." And then a flood of birds came into the yard, 5 cardinals and 2 blue jays, and
wow.
started squawking really loud, and tears started flooding through my eyes. I'm like, "Oh my god, didn't see that aspect," because that's what he embodied as that warrior, and I resisted that, and so I kept wanting him to change versus truly loving myself. I He gave me the gift of losing myself so I could remember who I am.
Big. Wow, amazing, and so he was someone, that wasn't really in your life. Only f how long was he in your life in this?
I'd say definitely over a decade. I met him at
Yeah.
14, so he was my first love.
Oh, wow.
He was my first of many.
Yes.
And I he gave me so many gifts. So I'd say over a decade he was it was like an off and on type of relationship because
Mhm,
there was a lot of dishonesty and cheating. Those things that
mhm.
I've obviously it was a soul agreement.
Right.
And so matter of fact, like there was that time where I was pregnant with our son and I found out that he had moved someone else up there to live with him and 'cause I was going up to visit him, and when I found out, I remember I couldn't breathe, and I kept saying, "I wanna go home, I wanna go home," and I was looking for a way to exit. I was looking for a way to end my life because I was feeling so much overwhelming pain from that because I'm like, "Here I am carrying his child," and I found this information out, and, um, that's where I heard the message, "You are home, heaven on Mother Earth."
Mm,
And so that has been my life integration and experience, and that is what I'm here for, and that's what I've recently remembered is heaven really is already here, it's a frequency that we tune into, and when we can tune into that frequency because we see our world as we see ourselves.
mm,
I got woken up with a message that I heard God within me so loud and clear that my husband even heard it, all in the eyes of the beholder. And then that began my self realization journey of, oh my gosh, I am the one creating the world that I'm seeing. So if I'm constantly seeing that I need to fix things or change things, then I'm creating that evidence to continue that pattern.
mhm. Oh,
So
so insightful. So where are
yes.
you now currently in 2026? What do you feel as like worldview, world feelings? Do you feel this shift that's happening that everybody's talking about? This
Big time. Although what I'm witnessing, because I've heard that different things like there's gonna be this split. So what I witnessed in my own experience is last year, the year of the snake, which we're still in that tail end of that, um, was huge shedding for me. Of course, started with my son's father's death, and then my dad almost like my dad had a close call, my husband almost died, like all these profound men in my life.
wow.
And the message I received, which was really clear, is when I was standing in the lake, because I get a lot of I get transmissions when I'm in nature because that's our innate nature. We connect and receive what those messages bring us and mirror for us. And so the message I heard when I was in water, my feet were sinking into the ground, is I heard you're in order for the masculine to rise, you require to root and ground in your power. And so what I'm witnessing, and it's kind of perceived as this like feminine energy takeover. It's not a power over or under, it's the power within. And as my dad shared with me the reflection of the Shiva and the Shakti, Shiva is God consciousness, Shakti's mother creation. And Shiva did not know he was God consciousness until Shakti. So that's what's happening. That's what I'm seeing that's happening on a grander scale is that Shakti energy, the mother, the primordial darkness, the womb of mother. And actually that's how my Prosperous Portal was birthed, is through an I am journey of I am my mother's divine love. We went into the primordial and the quantum, the primordial womb, and the darkness became the cosmic seed of creation. And so what I'm witnessing that's going to be happening, continuing to happen as I witness it in my own life, is all the structures that were built on scarcity and survival and false security, those are crumbling now. There's no more being able to avoid this. And so the more we try to resist it, the more pain or the more we hold on. That's what his death shared with me. So the the let go, what I heard is the let go you've been afraid of, and this is where the liberation is. It's the holding on that creates the suffering.
Uh,
And so the more we try to hold on to these false foundations, it's going to create that perceived idea of suffering. And it's that surrender. That's what I feel 2025 gave me the gift of is so much deep partnership with surrender and trust. And it woke in my inner authority of my authenticity, of really trusting the guidance within me, our intuition. And so that's the whole purpose of me creating the Prosperous Portal, because this is divine. This is God through me. I mean, I'm literally channeling all these things, which is this, it's dissolving those walls and bringing back into the sacred structure, because that's the true structure of our inner power. And what I see is the sacred structures, the Holy Trinity of infinity. And religion, there's been distortion with that, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. What I see it is the mother, the divine womb, where we're safe in the primordial womb of mother. And then there's the Father, the structure that holds, the roots that hold the structure. And then the Christ inner child, the Christos body of our awakened self. And so when we embrace the shadow and light of each, then we actually embody divine union. And then I saw union, you and I on. And so that's all we're meant to be, is turned on. Because when we're turned on, our lights are turned on. We're literally turning on other lights. We're giving others permission per our mission to shine our light.
oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so many chills as you talk. I love that permission. Wow. So, what is your I would love to know more about the prosperity portal and the I am journeys.
Yes, yes. The prosperity portal it's kind of morphed into its own thing because it's through my lived experiences. The whole purpose of me receiving it is I received a message through another mentor. She said, If you think you have a money problem, you actually have a receiving problem. And right then and there, I received the divine guidance that said, oh, you're going to restore the relationship with mommy and money because mother is the receptive energy. And then as I've been in creation, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where I discovered the sacred structure, that it's restoring the relationship with our inner child, the masculine, the mother, and the whole full soul, the embracing of our whole full soul. So the Prosperous Portal is designed to really root in as we allow ourselves to multi-dimensional ways of receiving. Because if we're blocked in receiving, we're not receiving. That's what prosperous energy is. It's richness in every area of our life. Because you can have tons of money and still have the scarcity mindset and still have lack. So it's not about, it's the vibration that we vibrate in. And that's what I'm seeing. The Prosperous Portal is a global platform that supports prosperous energy where we all thrive
Mm.
because that hierarchy no longer exists. It's all of us coming together, all of us sharing our gifts. And that's the message I received. I rewrote so many programs about money. I was like, money doesn't come from thin air. No, money comes from thin air. Money comes from thin air. And as I was thinking air, I heard all you require to do is show up, shine, and share. And the
Mm.
more we connect in with source, the more resources we receive and become resourceful.
Wow. I love your play on language. Just love it. So symbolic. I love symbolism. That's amazing. That sounds like such an amazing program. How can people sign up for that?
Well, actually, I'm not sure when this is going to be.
Mm.
There's the Bhakti Light. It's BHAKTI /Prosperous Portal. There is a link there. I'm offering a founders. So we're going to be offering a special for the founders because what I'm seeing is I thought it was about prosperous energy, and it's actually much bigger. It's the
Mhm.
message that God within me where I heard when I was leading a retreat and the woman's eyes changed and she's like, that's the most powerful baptism. And then I heard God say, you're gonna restore religion, the legion, the boxes that we put ourselves in
Mm.
versus relive in where God is alive within. And that's what my I am journey stand for too, is connecting with the temple of our bodies through the altar of our hearts, because this is where the church is. We've made it outside ourselves. And so it's about gathering in community. So I do have a 5-day immersion next week, the 9th through the 13th, Root to Rise. And it's it's really deep. It's really fun. It's coming through.
Nice. So what does that entail? That's online, right?
That is online, and it will be, it's really, again, where we allow ourselves to release what doesn't serve, release those inherited thoughts, beliefs, stories, programs, those things, and release that. And as we give ourselves permission to release, then we're going to have a day where we restore and reclaim, and then we root and remember, and then we rise and receive, and we thrive and transmit. So those are the themes of each day. And
Nice.
yeah, so opening up where mystery and mastery come together to open those multidimensional ways of receiving. So, yeah.
That sounds amazing. I love the word receiving, how it's coming up so much. It's just
Mhm.
very aligned with where I am right now. So I'm I'm all
Yes.
like, oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Like
Mm.
just everything is so aligned with us meeting. I just want to share your light with others because I feel like you have so much to offer. And so if somebody wanted, what are the I am journeys? Are they in person?
Yeah, well, they're in person and online. It
Okay.
is a symphony of sound and live music that takes one on a deep soul journey of their self discovery. We venture to the edge of the unknown. We go deep into the subconscious programs, and as we ask questions, those things come and arise. So it's I find one of the fastest ways to reprogram one's mind is through sound repetition and play. And that's the way
Mm.
I love leading and playing is letting the inner child lead the way because it's the child's heart that is the path of heaven. So yeah, it's like a meditation concert, some people say, and people have shared with me, many people, that it's more beneficial than years of therapy. They
Mm,
receive more from one IM session, IM journey session than years of therapy. So it's a ceremonial, alchemical journey of self discovery as we connect with our true church.
okay. And is this a group thing or individual or both?
I offer them. So I have a group once a month, and I'm going to be offering it in the Prosperous Portal as well. So
Okay.
anyone can come online if they like. It's going to be
Mhm.
part of an offering because um, it's basically like the Prosperous Portal is like where we're committed to being that ultimate version of ourself, where devotion and discipline bring together and we become the disciple of our inner truth. And so, um, with the I am journeys, they are monthly. And I offer them in a group setting, although people do hire me to do one on one sessions as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Where do they take place when you do them in person?
Um, so in person, it's in the Woodland Spring area.
Okay.
Yes, and like I said, we have online people join online, and the online are really powerful. I used to make up, oh, you have to be there in person to receive.
Yeah.
I had a lady's shoulder out of socket, and when we were embracing shame and hugging shame like an infant child, her shoulder popped back into socket,
Mm,
and this was
wow.
online.
Amazing. Yeah, I
Like
there's benefits with in person and online. Like for me personally, I feel like I get a lot more out of being alone in my home
some
experiencing something
people,
online
mhm,
because the energy of other people can affect me a lot. So I do get a lot when I'm just doing something online. So I totally believe that.
yes,
A lot
yes,
deeper. I can get a lot deeper because I tend to worry a lot about, the environment and, like, energy around me and whatever other people are experiencing and how I, can be of service or how I can help people. So if it's just me, I'm working on me and that's it. And that
yes, yes, and I've had a lot of people say they prefer
Mhm.
at their house, and then I have some people that say, "No, I wanna show up in person," so
Yeah.
it's really a matter of preference of where you are within your energy field, what you're choosing to honor within that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yes, I'm here.
Anything on in your heart about the future? I know it's hard to plan things, everything's shifting so quickly. It's like plans are always shifting. But is there anything that
No,
you feel you're working towards in the future?
um, me personally working towards I thought you were saying,
Yes.
like, in a collective.
Yeah. You personally, yeah.
Um, yeah, I am, like, honestly, um I'm now a international best-selling author. What I feel is it's not about the title, it's about becoming the author of our own life. That's what the initiation for me. So, yeah, I'm being called to share the transmissions that I receive because that is one thing that I've received that I through my life experiences. I'm an expert in my life experiences. Yes, I have certifications. I'm an master NLP practitioner and with mastery systems and I have lots of certifications, but that's not what I see is it's certainty in our own ability
Mhm,
and the gifts that we have that we're here to share. That's why I say I'm an expert in my life experiences.
mhm,
So yeah, I have the Prosperous Portal. I work with people one on one. I see myself on stage, like physical stages, more than online platforms.
mhm.
Um, and it's not for the fact of being famous. It's for w- the 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 um, the messages I've been receiving to share the transmissions.
Yeah,
So
totally. You have a lot to share, definitely. A lot of healing coming out of you, just radiating out of you. So thank you for your work in the world.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
What's, one thing you can leave us with? What's one thing that you have to do every day for your emotional balance, your spiritual connection?
My devotional practice. I daily connect with the elements. And as I am in gratitude and reverence, I receive new messages. And so it's that grounding because the message I receive is when we connect in, connection, if you look at it, connect in, we truly connect with all. And so it's
Mhm,
part of my radical self love routine that I give myself about 30 minutes where I go outside underneath my tree. I
mm,
connect. I connect with angel of clarity. I connect with angel of completion, angel of innermost being, angel protection, and connect and talk to my business. Like my
I love that.
business is a living entity, asking my business, what way can I show up and best serve from the ultimate perspective? So that
Beautiful.
those are my non-negotiables. Those are my daily, even if it's 15 minutes, I create the space in my day because it's starting our day with intention
Mm,
and devote. For me, it's devotion and discipline.
love it. Beautiful. And your book, so I'll put a link to your website and the book. I could put a link to that too. I did get it on Kindle, so I
Awesome.
will read it soon. I'm excited. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to meet in person.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. I'll
yes.
be in the Woodlands soon. Maybe in a few weeks, so I'm not sure. I know my brother lives in the Woodlands Conroe area, so um I think
Oh, yes, I would love to connect
I'll
with
let you
you
know.
in person. That would be lovely. And as soon as I have the date for root chakra, because we're going to be doing one chakra per month with the Prosperous Portal, because those have been the foundational pillars. I work
Okay.
with the chakras by the undoing of them and
Okay.
rooting into through our emotions and feeling world. So,
Oh yeah, let me know.
yeah.
Definitely. This has been such a fun conversation.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so
Thank you
much for
so much.
having me here.
Thank you.
Enjoy.